こんにちは。アルファアドバイザーズの坂下です。今日はシンガポールにあるナンヤン理工大学の MBA の説明会をしていきたいと思います。で、シンガポールはですね、最近アルファでも非常に人気の地域の一つですね。MBA の留学とか、あとは海外大学院。今日の来ていただいたナンヤン理工大学も今日は MBA なんですけど、MBA 以外にもウェルスマネジメントとかですね、シンガポールは非常にそういうファミリーオフィスとかアセットマネジメントとかヘッジファンドも多いので、ウェルスマネジメントっていうところに行って、そのまま現地で就職される方とかも多いですし、あとは日本の大学生がそのまま行ける大学院、マネージメント系もありますし、実はファイナンシャルエンジニアリングもね、ナンヤン理工大学という、理工という名前がついているだけあって、とても強くてですね、カーネギーメロンですね、アメリカのカーネギーメロン大学と交換留学があったり、カーネギーメロンといえばね、本当に世界最高峰の理工系の学校で、結構工学系とかでやってる方は、行きたいって来られる方も多かったりするんですけど、そういう交換留学プログラムを持っていたり、あと MBA の場合も交換留学とか、デュアルディグリーのプログラムもあったりするので、今日はプログラムの説明と、あとは卒業後のキャリアとかですね、皆さんが気になっているところで、かなりですね、実はシンガポールって就職どうなのとか思われがちなんですけれども、ナンヤン理工大学、NTU っていうふうに呼ばれてますけど、NTU の場合は、マッキンゼーとかですね、アップルとか、そういうトップファームも入ってますし、あと実はヘルスケアとか、外資系のヘルスケアとか、あと外資の金融とか、もちろんそのままシンガポールのヘッジファンドとか、アセットマネジメントとか、そういう会社に就職される方もいます。なので今日はね、ぜひ、実はかなりですね、あとキャンパスが来春とか来年からですね、来年の入学から非常に新しい、革新的なというかですね、すごく綺麗なビルで、サステナブルに作られているそうなんですけれども、そちらに移ったりとかですね。で、あとキャリアサポートが何よりも手厚いというところで、今日はそこについても詳しくお話伺っていこうと思います。で、まだ来年の入学も間に合いますし、ぜひですね、テスト要件とかももちろんあるんですけれども、そこまでガチガチにね、難しく捉えずに、まずはアルファにご相談いただいて、アドミッションの方とかもご紹介できますし、本当に理工系のプログラムも優れているということと、あとキャリアサポートがとにかく手厚いし、あとは、英語のね、結構特訓プログラムも実は2週間ぐらいついていたりしますので、かなりね、隠れ有料プログラムですので、ご興味がある方はいつでもご相談いただければと思います。では、今日は、プログラムダイレクターの方にね、お話しいただこうと思います。So, Damon, please start your presentation.
Thank you very much, Amy. Thank you for the introduction, and I would like to warmly welcome everyone. Thank you for taking time to join us in today's webinar session on our Nanyang MBA program. Now, before I start properly, I just want to just add on to the words you see on the screen right now. Innovate, lead, transform, right? These are three very important words, ethos, that guide us here in Nanyang Business School in how we develop our program, in how we enable our students to innovate, lead, and transform in the future. Now, today, I'm going to take you through 10 reasons why you should join us in our Nanyang MBA program if you're thinking of doing an MBA program here in Asia, right? So very quickly, maybe for those of you who are not too familiar with Singapore, I wish to inform you that Singapore, over the past 20, 30 years, we have established ourselves as the hub in Asia. So I can proudly say that indeed, many MNC multinational corporates, their companies, they have set up their headquarters, offices here in Singapore. And because of that, there are a lot of opportunities, career opportunities here in Singapore, because we act as a hub for Asia in Asia. So if you wish to advance your career in this part of the world in Asia, I think Singapore would be the right place for you to consider, considering that there are plenty of job opportunities here in Singapore. And that, if you take up an MBA program, you can also expect to take up a regional role if you're working here in Singapore, in the hub of Asia. And that means you'll be traveling around here in Asia, in different parts of ASEAN countries, playing out the regional function you'll take on if you join any of these regional head offices here in Singapore. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Nanyang Technological University in Singapore, you will come to realize that it is indeed a very highly ranked and globally recognized university. I mean, to the extent that recently in the United Kingdom, in the UK, it was already announced that if you hold a degree from Nanyang Technological University, right? If you hold a degree, if you hold MBA degree, the UK government will give you a 2-year visa, to be in the UK to look for a job in the UK. That is how widely accepted our degree holders are on the global stage, right? So these are some of the rankings you may be familiar with. You will find them if you Google them. In fact, we are considered by The Economist to be the #1 MBA program here in Singapore. We are definitely in the top 3 in Asia. And these are just various rankings you can see if you do some research on your own, right? So moving along, I wish to add that our flagship Nanyang MBA is not just any common MBA program you find in any school. It leverages on our heritage in technology and innovation. Hence, we are bringing to you a very interdisciplinary, a very different, very unique MBA program. All right. Now, what do I mean by an interdisciplinary, a customizable, flexible MBA program? Now, if you look on the screen right now, you will see there are 9 different core courses that our MBA participants will have to go through, right? Finance, accounting, these are pretty standard business modules that our MBA students will have to take. But you will notice in our 9 core courses, there is a slight difference. And this is where we are showing our strength as a technological university. Now, analytics for decision-making, technology and e-business, these are some of our core courses that are hugely popular because of our strength in technology, right? I'll explain a little bit more about these courses and who delivers them in the core courses. Now, if you're in our program, it's highly customizable. Now, what do I mean by it's highly customizable? You get to choose the specialization tracks, right? As you can see in the middle column, you can choose to take up the general management track, strategy and innovation, banking and finance, marketing management, business analytics, or sustainability and innovation. Now, I'm just going to touch on a few, right? So depending which career option you're going into after your MBA, these tracks may mean a lot to you, okay? So if you plan to go into consulting, for example, after your MBA program, the strategy and innovation track is extremely popular with folks who intend to get into consulting. Those who wish to get into consulting are also thinking of taking up the sustainability and innovation track. Now, why? Because many companies today, many organizations are incorporating sustainability strategies within their organization, and they need consulting professionals to give them the kind of advice to put these strategies together, right? Of course, for those of you who are keen to get into banking and finance industry, the banking and finance track is available for you. Another very popular track that we have is the business analytics track. Now, why is that so? Again, it leverages on our strength in technology and innovation. And for those who are taking up this particular track, you also get a free programming for managers crash course that commences before the MBA starts, all right? So this is a 1-month crash course that you have to be in Singapore much earlier to go through in order to take up the business analytics track. Now, you can see in the last column, I picked up a few very unique courses that really show how different we are, our MBA, how different our MBA program is. Now, seldom you'll find, that much tech-related subjects or courses in an MBA program. But these are just some of the very unique courses we have in our MBA program. Life Sciences and MedTech Bootcamp, for example, is extremely popular. It's taught by a CEO of a MedTech company who also regularly hires from our MBA cohort. Now, AR, VR, AI, and robotics in marketing. This is truly a very unique course that we have. Cybersecurity and blockchain technology, deep learning and contemporary AI in business. These are just some of our very unique courses in our MBA program. And this is meant to get you prepared, get you ready as a future ready leaders in the new business world. Okay. Now, in NTU, we have a rich ecosystem for holistic learning and sustainability. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, to be able to provide you a very interdisciplinary education in our MBA program, you can see we leverage on the different schools found within Nanyang Technological University. Now, these schools, many of them are renowned colleges who are punching way above their weight, despite our very short history. We just celebrated our 30 years old as a full-fledged university. But many of these schools you see on screen right now, they are highly ranked and globally recognized as well. So as you can see, we pull in faculty, researchers from the various schools you see on screen. By having them work with our business faculty, our business professor, we could deliver the kind of very unique courses in our MBA program. Now, one also very interesting fact, because we're such a big university here in Singapore, is that we recently did a count. We did a count on how many events and activities take place in the university within a 3-month period. I'm very happy to tell you we have more than 100 events organized by the different schools, different colleges, different departments within the university over a 3-month period. And that's a lot. That's a lot. And if you are plugged into this ecosystem, you can expect to attend some of these if time permits. Yep. All right. So moving along, I wish to share with you a little bit more about our research-focused academic team that collaborates closely with the industry. Now, as you can see here, these are just some of the thought leaders we have in our faculty lineup. Now, because the Nanyang MBA is our flagship program, you can expect the top faculty in the school to be teaching in the MBA program. Now, some of them you can see here already on screen, and I would welcome you to go ahead and Google them, right? As you can see, Dr. Catherine, she teaches cultural intelligence, which is a very unique program we have in our MBA. Cultural intelligence, in fact, it's widely known around the world that NTU, Nanyang Business School, is the birthplace for cultural intelligence, right? And this shows up if you visit our campus. And I understand Amy from Alpha Advisor recently visited us, and she can see there are Chinese heritage buildings around. The garden is beautifully preserved, etc. Right? Prof. Bo Wai Fong, she's our Deputy Dean. She's the lady right in the middle. She's our Deputy Dean, and she is the head of the Division of IT and Operations Management. So she also teaches in our MBA program, especially those that has to do with blockchain and design thinking, right? Now, for many of you, if you look, if you do some research, you'll notice that Prof. Vijay Sethi, he has been a mainstay in our MBA program faculty lineup for many, many years. In fact, he has been voted the world's best business professor several years ago, right? So what you can expect is a very strong lineup of faculty members who'll be teaching you the latest, the most relevant pertaining to the respective industries. Okay. Now, we have a dedicated career development office. Now, like many universities, there is a career development office, but what we have is really quite different because we call them the GS-CDO. What does GS stands for? Right? GS stands for graduate studies. It is meant for our MBA students, right? So a lot of focus, a lot of attention is given to our MBA students, right? So this department only works with our master student, which is very, very different from what undergraduate student will need, right? So you can expect MBA level type of jobs after an MBA program with us. And how do we do that? How do we get you prepared? How do we get you ready for the MBA level type of job program with us? Now, we have a long list of alumni who comes back to us on a very regular basis to hire our MBA students. We have a great team of career coaches. Now, these career coaches are carefully curated senior professionals. Many of them are C-level, C-suite level professionals who are taking up this coaching because they are passionate about it and they want to groom the next generation of leaders. Now, you can expect a one-to-one coaching session with some of these very senior professionals who are, very well respected in their respective industries or companies, right? Some of them are also actively looking to hire MBA level type of talents into their organization. And that's also the reason why they are actively taking up this career coaching position with us. Now, of course, our GS-CDO has a wide network of employers, and they know exactly when these employers are hiring, when is their cycle, so they can prepare our students to be ready, to have their resume ready, and to prepare them for the interviews that will take place if they are shortlisted for these employers based on the cycles that they are hiring. And of course, our GS-CDO plays the sector consultant role, so they will know exactly if this particular sector is actively looking to hire people. Now, broadly, we all know today the tech sector is going through what we call a retrenchment phase, right? Many tech companies are letting go of people, but where exactly in the tech sector where there are still opportunities? Now, this is where the sector consultants will be the expert and they'll be able to advise our MBA participants. Now, these are the top 20 MBA employers that is coming to us year after year, looking at the people we have, looking at the talents we have. These are some of the household name, I believe, for you. Consulting firms, tech companies, banks. DBS Bank, of course, is an avid supporter for our MBA talents. A very good reason is because in DBS Bank, the top, I would say the chief tech officer is an alumni of our Nanyang MBA program, right? He's really the man behind the scene that modernized DBS Bank. And if you do a search today, DBS Bank here in Singapore is often known as the most innovative bank in the world, right? And that speaks volume of the kind of candidates, of the kind of alumni we produce after going through our MBA program, right? So what is also really different if you come into our MBA program is that you get to go through our capstone experiential module, SPAN, BSM, and LPG. What are they, right? SPAN, in short, is Strategy Projects at Nanyang, Business Study Mission, BSM, Leading People Globally, LPG. Now, SPAN is a project that our MBA students will take up from trimester 2 onwards. Now, it's a 100-day project where they work on the real life consulting project that is sponsored by a company, right? Companies that have sponsored these projects, many of them are, again, household brands. You will know them. I shall not go into too much detail, but for example, Coca-Cola, Microsoft, etc., they are regular sponsors of this project for our SPAN teams. So in SPAN, our MBA students will work in teams of 4 or 5 and work to bring solutions to challenges that are faced by these real-life companies. Some of these are go-to-market projects where, for example, if a company wish to expand their operations or enter a market that is previously that they are previously absent from, this is where our MBA students will come in to give them advice after doing some research. Of course, our MBA students will be guided very closely by our faculty members when delivering the SPAN project. And some of these SPAN projects have been taken up by our sponsored company and implemented live, right? So it is a very exciting part of our MBA studies. Now, the BSM, of course, during the pandemic period, it suffered because our students were not able to travel in the region. Now, this is, again, a very big part of what we do because we want our MBA students to be exposed to different business practices in different parts of Asia. And that's the reason why we take them to different cities, different countries here in Asia, right? The business study mission will take them out for a week where they'll visit companies. They will hear from some of the senior leaders from these companies on how these companies operate in their local environment and what is it that they do successfully. Now, this, of course, will add on to the experience and exposure of our MBA students because remember, when they complete the MBA program here in Singapore, they can expect to take up regional roles in the headquarter offices here in Singapore. And that's when they will understand the different cities that they have to work with, right? Or they have to travel to because of their client, because of their work. Now, in leading people globally, now you can expect to go through 4 different leadership modules, right? One of it, of course, is cultural intelligence. Again, I want to emphasize this is a very big part of NTU, Nanyang Business School. Now, cultural intelligence, we're known to be the birthplace of it. Why is it important? Again, it comes back to the kind of environment you'll be working in here in Asia. Now, in Singapore, it's commonly known that we are a cultural melting pot, right? It is very common for you to work in teams where you find there are 10 or more different nationalities or people coming from very different cultures in your team. Now, because if you are working in the regional office, you'll also be traveling to different parts of Asia. And again, understanding the culture will be an advantage for you if you're trying to close that particular business deal, right? Of course, part of LPG is negotiation, talent management. These are just some of the leadership modules we have under LPG, okay? Now, if you feel like doing more than just one MBA program, it is possible. We have the double MBA program with Waseda University. We also have a double master's program with the University of St. Gallen. We have also a double master's in partnership with ASEC Business School in France. Now, the double MBA we have with Waseda, of course, would bring you to Waseda for 6 months. So you spend 8 months here in Singapore and 6 months in Japan, Tokyo. Now, I don't have to explain too much to the Japanese audience with regards to Waseda University, because all of you would know that it's probably the top 2 private university in Japan. It has a long history with a long, illustrious list of alumni from Waseda University. So taking up this double MBA program, of course, I need to emphasize, none of these would require additional tuition fee, all right? It's just slightly longer than our 1-year MBA program, okay? The Waseda double MBA is 14 months, as opposed to our Nanyang MBA, which is only 12 months, okay? So you also go through the 9 core courses here in NTU. You may take up 5 electives here in NTU before leaving in March or February or March to Waseda University, where you complete 11 specialized courses and take up the Japan industry studies. Now, this is great for people who wish to double their network, meaning to say you're not giving up the chance to also work in Japan, but you also like to try to seek career opportunities here in Singapore, right? So that's the double MBA program. We also have the double masters with St. Gallen in Switzerland. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, I would encourage you to Google and find out more about this program. Now, St. Gallen master's program is in strategy and international management. Now, it has been ranked as the #1 specialized master's program in the world for many years, consecutive years, I have to add, right? So what I understand is that if you do get the opportunity to go do these masters, you will also open up career opportunities in Europe. Why is that so? Now, many St. Gallen students are offered work positions by European companies, sometimes months before they graduate from this program. So you can expect to do 1 additional year in Switzerland if you wish to do that. And you'll be looking at the prospect of getting job offers at the 15-month mark when you're in Switzerland, okay? We also have a very exciting master's program with ASEC. It's a MIM program, Masters in Management program. So again, you get exposure in Europe. And ASEC Business School is well known around the world for their marketing and luxury goods management courses, right? So many of our students, especially if you like to be working in that area, in maybe for LVMH, this could be a business school for you to consider. Right, so we also offer a very extensive exchange option you can see on screen. So year to year, we do have some changes to the list, but some very popular universities like the University of Chicago, Cornell University. We also partner with some of the Canadian university in delivering something very unique. But yes, we do have a very long illustrious list over here. Now, because NTU is known to be the largest university here in Singapore, and despite our very short history, we have already accumulated a very large pool of alumni in more than 100 countries, right? So you can see over here, we have more than 275,000 NTU alumni all over the world. So we have a very strong network, alumni chapters, different part of the cities around the world. Just Nanyang Business School alone, we have more than 60,000 alumni members, right? Represented in more than 100 countries, right? We do regularly hold alumni activities, even in Japan, right? So we always welcome you to, if you're available, to join and to meet some of our alumni when that happens, so you can get to know Nanyang Business School better. Now, these are just some of the recent graduates from our MBA program. Now you can see Jolene Chua, she's from Malaysia. Despite her relatively young age, she's already a chief of staff. 2 years after she graduated from our MBA program, she was also named Forbes 30 under 30 because of the remarkable accomplishments she has with her organization. We have Ella Choi from Korea. She's now a data product manager with L'Oreal. She's also working here in Singapore. We have a Brazilian, Alexander Tom, senior manager working here in Microsoft Singapore today. We have also someone very senior in Google Philippines, Roxas Gabriel, who heads up the marketing function for Google in the Philippines. And these are just some recent graduates from our MBA program. Yeah. Talking of that, I also have a link which I'll share with you, an article about some recent Japanese alumni, right? An article that I'll share in the chat in a short while with you, okay? And you can read up about how they are now working in Singapore after a rather long career in Japan. Okay. And if you come to NTU and you join our Nanyang MBA program, you'll be having an experience, a study experience in one of the most beautiful campuses in the world. Now, we are also very excited. We are going to be moving to our new home. This is going to be Asia's largest wooden building. It is a very sustainable building. It's meant to incorporate the environment with our building blocks here in NTU. So right across, you see a lot of a very, very beautiful garden. And this wooden building will complement the garden very well. And this is where our MBA students will be having classes from 2023 onwards. Okay. So if you join us, you can expect to have your classes in this building. Now, these are the admissions requirement, admissions details. You need to have a good bachelor's degree, at least 2 years of full-time work experience, a good competitive GMAT or GRE score. Now, I understand most of you who are listening in are coming from Japan, and Japan candidates usually have a disadvantage because of your language competency, your English language competency. So we do take that into account. So if you have, for example, a GMAT score of 560 or higher, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to talk to you and guide you through what you need to do to make your admissions application a successful one. Okay, so we will also need a TOEFL or IELTS score if English is not the medium of instruction in your undergraduate studies. Application deadline, you can see we're already approaching our round 2 deadline, 15th of January. Our program fee is probably one of the most attractive reason why people would join our program, because for a highly ranked MBA program, this is really one of the best value for money MBA program you can find, right? So it's $65,000 Singapore dollars before government taxes, which will be 8% in 2023. There are various funding options available for you. We encourage you to apply for scholarships, the various scholarships we have. We also have different grants and subsidies. If your company sponsored, let us know, because you do get a special grant if your company sponsored for the MBA program, financially sponsored by your organization. Okay. So application is now open. We encourage you to check with our team schedule a consultation by emailing us at mba.admissions@ntu.edu.sg. Download our Nanyang MBA brochure using the QR code you see on screen. And what's also very exciting is that I would like to, I have one more slide on class profile, just to give you an idea, the kind of class size we are putting together, the kind of nationalities you can expect in our program. The average work experience is 5 to 6 years. We have a very good gender balance in our program. Our GMAT score is rather high, I have to say. Average is 680. Now, we do bring in people mainly from consulting, finance, and technology, right? And this also translates to where they go after their MBA program. So I'll say about 20% of our students, 20 to 25% of our students will go into consulting after our MBA program. 25% or more will go into the tech industry after our program. About 20% will go into finance, banking and finance, private equities, securities, etc., wealth management. We also have a good percentage of students after the MBA program who join supply chain companies, manufacturing, FMCG organizations, etc. Okay. Yes, so this is the slide I want to tell you. And I encourage you to join us if you have the time. Come experience Nanyang Technological University for yourself, right? We have a Nanyang MBA Experience Day on the 6th of January next year. It's a Friday. This is a physical event. So if you're in Japan and if you have the time, air tickets in early January should be quite reasonable, not so expensive. So do make a trip and fly into Singapore, and we'll take you through a masterclass. And if, we'll take you on the tour in NTU to show you the beautiful campus. And also at the same time, allow you time to mingle and network with our current MBA students. So you can hear directly from them about their experience in the program so far. Okay, so it happens from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We encourage you to go on our website to register for this. It's a physical event, and if you can make it, we'd love to welcome you here in Singapore. Okay, so yeah, Emmy, I know I've taken up a lot of time, but
thank you. Yeah, thank you for great presentation. はい。ということで、ちょっとこの後はですね、So, let's move on to the Q&A session with audience. 最後のスライドにあった1月の6日のイベントはこちらですね。ぜひ、行ける方はですね、1月6日なので、あと2週間ぐらいですかね。なので、南ヤンをですね、本当にさっき校舎もイメージ写真みたいなの出てましたけれども、これからすごい新しいキャンパスになりますし、とても雰囲気のいい場所で、これを私たちがビジットした時もすごくお勧めされてたイベントで、授業とかも出られますし、あと企業さんとかがね、結構来て、リクルーティングも兼ねて、いろんなイベントとかもやるらしいので、行ける方はですね、ぜひ行っていただければと思いますし、ご興味がある方は、アドミッションとか方とのセッションとかもアレンジしますので、ぜひ行っていただければと思います。シンガポールで比較的近いので、もう正月休み少し延長して1日ぐらい行ける方は、ぜひ行かれるといいかなと思います。はい。ということで、ちょっと皆さんからご質問もいただいているので、そちらに移っていこうと思います。ちょっとスライドも振り返りつついければと思いますが、まず最初の質問ですね。ありがとうございます。非常に魅力的なプログラムだと思いました。実際の就職は、MBA の生徒さんたちはどこに行かれていますか？日本人でシンガポール就職する方もいらっしゃいますか？ということで、お聞きしていきたいと思います。So, could you share your slides? Because there is a question about the career after graduation.
Oh, sure. Sure thing. Please allow me to do that. I know it's okay.
Yes. So the first question is career destination after graduation. I think especially Japanese students. And also, are there any Japanese students who get job at Singapore upon graduation?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So just give me a second.
Sure.
I think I'm having some difficulties with my computer. I wanted to share with you earlier. I was telling you that we have a recent article about our Japanese graduates, and please allow me to maybe share this in the chat. Is it fine if I can put this in the chat?
Yes.
So there is a link I just put in the chat.
Thank you.
Right. And I would recommend for the audience to, click on this link and read up about just recent graduate. No, one of the graduate, he definitely found it extremely challenging. Hironori, because when he was studying in our MBA program, that's when the COVID-19 was at its peak. So it wasn't easy, but he went through the MBA program and had a wonderful experience. And today, I'm very happy to say he is working here in Singapore, right? He's working in Singapore. You can look him up on our LinkedIn. Okay, you can look him up on our LinkedIn. So I know he just moved to Singapore, I think last month. Okay, so yes, we do have a number of Japanese working in Singapore after the MBA program, and also because of their unique abilities and skills, many of them are working in positions that require them to, work also with Japanese clients or teams with Japanese members in it, right? Again, we're talking about MBA level type of job, so it's not a job that is right out of university. So many of them are taking up managerial positions. Now they are also extremely comfortable and confident in their role because of the exposure they have through our Nanyang MBA program. Like what I've mentioned earlier, whether it's the business training, the cultural intelligence, the type of respect they provide to different people of different cultures here in Singapore, I think that really adds up to what they are capable of doing here in Singapore, right? So I'll leave you to read up on this article. So there's no doubt some of them stay on here in Singapore to work. Okay. Amy, maybe back to you if you have any other questions.
And yes, so could you share, can you share your screen now?
Sure.
Or if there is the difficulty in sharing the slide. Okay.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Excellent. Yes. So tell me which slides would you like me to get to?
About the employment report, employment industry.
Is this the slide you're looking for?
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
And so there is a question about career destination after graduation, especially I think for Japanese student.
Mhm.
So it's an overall student.
Yes, these are overall students. So for Japanese students, I understand Johnson & Johnson do pick up some of our MBA students from Japan. Marubeni, I think that's a recognized brand. That's a recognized brand. We also have, of course, Japanese candidates who are sponsored by their organization. So we have people coming from Bank of Japan in the past, coming into our program. They will also be looking to see if we have any good Japanese, for example, Bank of Japan. They do come to us. Now, interestingly, many Japanese, when they come here, they do opt to join the more international companies. All right. And some of them have successfully joined Apple, Google, and also Microsoft. Right. So we're talking about Japanese students. Okay. So I hope this answers some of your questions.
Okay.
Those of you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. はい。なので、これトップ20の、雇用主で、一応学年が70人だったので、トップ20なんで大部分の方が、大部分というかね、結構な方がこういった、グローバル企業とグローバルトップカンパニーに行かれてるってことで、コンサルが一番割合としては多いって言ってましたけど、マッキンゼーとか、あと普通にGAFAもありますし、あと日本人の方はジョンソン&ジョンソンとかは、今年もアルファからも、インターンとかね、取ってる方がいましたけれども、ジョンソン&ジョンソンとか結構、ボスキャリとかでインターンの採用してたりもしますし、あとビッグフォーとかもいますね。EY さんとかデロイトさんとか、あと丸紅とか商社に行く方もいるということですね。あと中には社費の方もいるかなとは日本人の方だと思います。はい。次ですね。ESSEC は MBA ではないという理解で合っていますでしょうか。また、ナンヤンの他のマスター、ファイナンス、コンピューターサイエンスなどとの、デュアルディグリーは取れますでしょうかということで。The next question is about a dual degree program, about the ESSEC program. So, student can earn the MBA program at NTU and Master in Management program at ESSEC, but not MBA at ESSEC.
Yes. So if you join our double master's program, you first spend 1 year, the first year here in Nanyang Business School in Singapore, right? The first year is, of course, the Nanyang MBA. You will have to successfully complete the Nanyang MBA before you spend the second year in either Switzerland or France. So with ESSEC Business School, our students will be going to Paris, all right? They will spend an additional 1 year and no extra additional tuition fee, okay? So it's the same tuition fee, but it's just over 20 months, the program. The program that you'll be joining in ESSEC Business School is the Masters in Management program. Okay, Masters in Management program. Now, for University of St. Gallen, if you're going to do a double Masters with them, you'll be taking up the Masters of Arts in Strategy and International Management, SIM for short. You'll see on the screen, SIM, that is a Masters of Arts in Strategy and International Management program. Okay, so again, feel free to look up more on this particular program because these are really highly ranked, globally recognized program that's really hard to get in. Okay.
Okay, thank you. なので、さっきのご説明でもありましたけど、この真ん中はスイスですね。で、スイスはこの、世界で、トップ1位って言ってましたけど、このプログラム、スイスのマスター・オブ・アーツって言って、おっしゃってましたけれども、SIM というプログラムに、 行って、そうするとデュアルマスターが取れるっていうことですね。あとは、早稲田は、早稲田の MBA に行ってて結構内野に行くっていう方もいるかなと思います。あと、エセックに関しては、特にフランスにあるので、そのラグジュアリーブランドとか、そういったところに就職する方も、エセックとのデュアルディグルを取って、ラグジュアリーブランドとか、マーケティングとかの方に行く方もいるっておっしゃってましたね。はい。あとですね、南ヤンの他のマスターノートのデュアルは取れますでしょうかということで、And one more question about the dual degree program. Is there some dual degree program within NTU, for example, MBA and Master of Finance and MBA and Master of Wealth Management and so on?
Unfortunately, no, we don't have a double degree within NTU. But of course, if you choose to take up an additional master's program after the MBA here, there will be some generous discount given if you do it consecutively over 2 years, right? Because most of our specialized master's programs, they are 1-year program. But what's really, what gets people really thinking is that because our MBA program is already considered rather interdisciplinary, right? Interdisciplinary because of the different specialization tracks we have, right? So again, I like to bring you back to that particular slide, if I may, where I was telling you in the beginning, if you look at the center, the middle column, you'll see the specialization tracks, right? This is where you can customize your experience. So if you wish to go deeper into finance, this is your opportunity. You can take up the banking and finance track, where there are 6 or more different courses that is going very deep into banking and finance. That will be great for people who wish to get into that industry or who wish to return to the banking and finance at a different level, right? We also have the business analytics track, which is rather unique to us because we have a very strong faculty division who looks into business analytics. And in fact, our business analytics electives here that's found in the tracks are co-delivered, co-facilitated by professors, not just from Nanyang Business School, but also from, for example, School of Computer Science, School of Computer Engineering, and School of Mathematics, right? So we bring in faculty members, professors from different schools to collaborate on some of these very unique courses we have in our MBA program. Okay.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
はい。なので、南野の中では、そのデュアルディグリーというのは特に作ってはないんですけど、ただ両方1年ずつのプログラムなので、MBA も1年間、普通のその他のマスターも1年なので、多少ディスカウントはしてくれるそうなので、全然2年間とか行かれる方もいいんじゃないかなと思います。年齢とかやりたいことによるんですけど、ただ MBA の中でもさらにこのコアとエレクティブとこのセレクティドユニークコースというのはかなりコアなコースが多いかなと思います。AR とか VR とか、ロボティクスとかですね、あとサイバーセキュリティ、ブロックチェーンとか、こういうところかなり深くやりたい方は、ナンヤン理工大学、本当にやっぱりテクノロジーがかなり強いので、シンガポールの中でも特におすすめですし、こういうところ行きたいという方もいますね。はい。結構このブロックチェーンとかの分野は、なかなかシンガポールはかなりその国としてこういうのを強くしていこうとか、あと税制の優遇とかも含めて、結構こういうところ、サイバーセキュリティとかブロックチェーンとか、Web3 とか目指していこうという方も多いですし、学校側もこういうプログラム提供しているところが多いので、すごくね、シンガポール、そういう人にとっては、かなりチャンスが大きい国かなと思います。はい。次ですね。MBA の人たちが住める寮などはあるのでしょうか？新しい校舎になるということは MBA のクラスサイズが増える想定でしょうか？増えるならどのくらいまで増やす予定ですか？ということで。The next question is about housing for MBA student? Is there any dorm or housing service for MBA students?
Yes, that's a very good question. In fact, housing is limited. On-campus housing is limited, but we are very fortunate, very blessed, because in NTU, we are considered the largest university in Singapore. This would be the university or the program where you get a best shot of getting university accommodation, right? So I always tell our MBA students, you have a 50% chance of getting a room. So every 2 students, MBA students, 1 is likely to get a room. In fact, for our current cohort, our current group of MBA students, 70% of them stays on campus.
Oh, really? That's great.
70%, yes. And this dramatically lower their expenses. Because in Singapore, like everywhere in the world, every city is in the world right now today, we are experiencing inflation, a very high inflation. So accommodation, an apartment or a room outside the campus can cost anywhere between 900 Singapore dollars to 1,500 Singapore dollars, or even higher, depending on the kind of facilities you want. But a room on campus is between 600 Singapore dollars to maybe 800 Singapore dollars. Yes. So
that's great news.
It is a bargain. It is a bargain. Yeah. So many of our students will try to stay on campus, but I always tell them, you never know. You will apply. The housing division, housing department will select based on the number of applications. But if you don't get housing, this is what we have done. We encourage our MBA students to group together to rent an apartment. So to lower the cost and also to live together, to look out for each other, right? So this has happened over the past couple of years as well. During COVID-19, during the pandemic, I thought that was extremely important because you don't want to be isolated alone in an apartment or in a room. To share an apartment, you will have common living spaces, which would help you to build forge stronger relationships with your peers in the class. Okay.
Okay, thank you. なので、結構いい情報というかですね、ラッキーなこととしては、キャンパス内のその寮とかですね、ユニバーシティハウジングが、今は 70% ぐらいの方がそこに住めているそうで、数に限りがあるので、全員分は難しいかもしれないんですけど、結構大多数の人がキャンパス内に借りようと思えば寮で住めるということですね。でシンガポールは探せばですね、そこまでなんか高くて住めないということはないと思うんですけど、比較的やっぱり家賃とかもちゃんとしたところに住もうと思うと、の値段もするので、キャンパスだと600から800シンガポールドルぐらいって言ってたので、月ですね、かなり安く住めるんじゃないかなと思います。日本で住むより全然安く住めるんじゃないかなと思いますね。でしかもキャンパス内だと学校の中なので、安全ですし、キャンパスもすぐ行けますし、あと生徒さん同士のつながりとかもできるので、とてもいいんじゃないかなと思います。はい。あとですね、your campus building will move next year, and is the class size growing for your campus?
Yes, we are anticipating a record number of master students next year, right? So we're expecting the largest cohort this time around across all different programs because there's a lot of pent-up demand because COVID-19 affected us, similarly affected many schools around the world. we are moving into a bigger facility. There will be a lot more classrooms, a lot more seminar rooms, I would say, that will be able to accommodate the kind of the number of students we expect or we anticipate to have in the new year or in the years to come, right? In the years to come. So, but having said that, I would say our MBA students get the best facilities. Our flagship MBA students get the best facilities all the time. And that's the reason why they are flagship MBA students. Our current seminar rooms can sit comfortably 80 people. It has state-of-the-art facilities. So you can expect the same or even better equipments when we move into our new business school in a few months' time. Okay.
Thank you. なので、ビルディングが大きくなるので、その分生徒さんも増えるんじゃないかなということで、そんなにね、先日学校に伺った時もクラスサイズをすごく増やすっていう予定はないんですけど、ただコロナで少し生徒さんが減ってたりっていうこともあるので、少し、サイズとしては大きくなるんじゃないかなっていうことですね。あとやっぱり新しいビルディングでかなり快適に過ごせて、MBA の人たちは一番いいファシリティを使えるので、とても快適に過ごせるということをおっしゃってましたね。はい、ありがとうございます。で、次ですね。ウェルスマネジメントのマスターについても教えてもらえますでしょうか。ミドルキャリアであまりファイナンスのバックグラウンドがなくても学べますでしょうか。ということで、the next question is Master of Wealth Management at NTU. So, I am the middle career professional and without any finance background, am I qualified to wealth management master?
Okay, that's a very good question. Now, yes, we have a very highly sought after specialized master's program in asset and wealth management. Now, most of the students in there are mid-level professionals. They would have 8, 10, or 15 years of work experience. Most of them would have experience in a bank, right? Or in a brokerage, or are coming from families where now they are required to set up a family office to manage the family's wealth. Right, so we do have profiles like that. Now, it is extremely competitive. So depending on how the admissions go for the year, we would definitely put priority with people with the kind of experience before they join the program. But I also know for diversity, they are also looking for conscientious individuals who, have very portable skills, who have the kind of competencies, who can do well in this particular industry. So not many, I'll say about 5 who are usually from non-private banking, non-banking background, who will make it into the program. But usually they have good mathematical training already. Now, because they will be dealing with numbers in a bank, so that's probably one of the requirements. So you may want to ask yourself, are you someone who's strong in quant? Are you good with numbers? If you are, you may be one of that 5 with no banking and finance background who can get into the master's program. Okay.
Hey, thank you. なので、かなり年齢層としては、その8年から10年とか15年とか、働いてから来る方が多いそうなので、層としては、だからミドルキャリア30代とか、30代以上の方が非常に多いということですね。でただ、バックグラウンドは、やっぱり将来ファミリーオフィスとか、アセットマネジメントとか、かなりがっつりそこにコミットしてやっていくっていうのと、あとは、クオンツとかですね、数学とかの要素がかなり入ってくる し、数字に強いということが、最低条件みたいなところがあるので、全員がファイナンスバックグラウンドというわけじゃないんですけど、かなり大部分の方がファミリーオフィスとか、アセットマネジメントとか、バンキングとか、金融業界にいた方が多いということですね。ただ一部、5人くらいとかですね、少数の方はそれ以外の部分で、働かれてた方もいるということですね。ただ数学の能力とかはかなり見られるっていうことなので、今も金融でやってるっていう方とか、クオンツ、それこそやってる方とか、アルファにも来られたりするんですけど、そういう方なんかはかなりチャンスが大きいかなと思いますし、もちろんそれ以外のバックグラウンドの方も、ちゃんと数学的な能力があるよってことを示せれば、十分可能性もあると思いますので、ぜひ、ご興味がある方は、ご相談いただければと思います。はい。ご質問は以上ですかね。じゃあちょっと最後にコメントをいただいて終わりにしようと思います。So that's all for the questions. And could you give us some closing remarks?
Well, thank you very much, Amy, for having me here today, showcasing our Nanyang MBA program. So I think I wish for every one of you to remember the ethos, the tenets that guide us in how we design our program, in what we place priority on. I think innovate, lead, transform. These are three very important words to us. It guides us on how we do certain things and what we hope our students will be able to achieve after their studies here with us. And it is also very often I'm asked the question, what kind of students do you typically have? Do you typically want in the MBA cohort? I think we're looking for people who are conscientious. That means they are diligent, not just smart. They are diligent. They are organized. They do not procrastinate. People who are very conscious, who are striving to be better versions of themselves as compared to who they are yesterday. We're looking for people who are collaborative, right? And that is really important. Yes, you will be a leader one day, but you will also constantly be playing the role of a team member in a larger team. So we look for people who are collaborative, who can collaborate, who can work well with others, at the same time willing to step up to take up leadership positions, right? And also very importantly, we're looking for people who are willing to be interdisciplinary, who wish to work in a complex, who can strive to achieve a lot of success in a very complex work environment. And that, I think, is the world we are moving towards, right? So I really hope you will give us consideration when you're thinking of doing an MBA program. And I wish you all the very best. And before we end the session, I also want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year ahead of time. Yep.
Thank you so much for your time today and great presentation. はい。ということで、まだまだですね、あとテストスコアね、GMA と GRE と必要っておっしゃってたんですけど、日本人の方はやっぱり英語が苦手な方が多いっていうのも分かっているので、GMA とかですね、560点とか、そんなに点数が高くない場合も、どうしたらいいかとかね、いろいろアドバイスをくれるということですし、アルファでも、GMA と特にね、点数低くても合格してるというとあれですけど、そこまでね、心配しなくても合格に導いている場合も多々ありますので、ぜひそういったところも乗り越えて、合格をつかんでいただければと思いますし、いくらでもサポートしておりますので、ちょうどアルファでも12月の31日まで MBA の出願サポートですね、年末ジャンボっていうことで、1日3学くらいなんですけど、10% オフっていうのをやっていますので、ぜひご相談いただいて、南安理工大学ね、本当にテクノロジーとか強いですし、特にファイナンスの分野行きたい方にもおすすめなので、いつでもまずは無料相談入れていただければと思います。皆様からのご連絡お待ちしております。はい。ということで、今日はこちらで終わりたいと思います。So thank you for your time today.
Thank you, thank you, thank you everyone, and thank you, Amy.
Okay. そう、ではこちらで失礼いたします。